didn't mean to treat you bad, but I did it anyway. And then maybe some would say your life was sad. So I just started my motor and I let it warm up, and then I put it into gear to make sure that it wouldn't die. Currently there's a wind coming from behind us that's going to push us up on the shore. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take the front line, which doesn't have any tension on it, off. Probably take the walking board. We'll see how the shore is, but I'll probably take the plank up and then pull the back line. Jump on the boat on the back, and then I'm going to back off of I'm going to back towards the wind and pull my boat away from shore that way. It seems to be the best way to go with the wind that we're looking at. So maybe your friends, they stand around, they watch you crumble as you falter to the ground. And then someday, your friends, they stand beside as you were flying up so high. But then someday, people look at you for what they call their own. They watch you suffer, yeah, they hear you calling home. And then someday, we could take our time to brush the leaves aside so you can reach us. Hey, but you left me far behind. Now maybe I didn't mean to treat you oh so bad, but I did it anyway. Now I'm saying, but maybe some would say you left with what you had. So the wind's coming from behind us and I'm backing directly into it, getting away from shore enough to do a 180 and go the other direction. What we are looking for here is a microclimate. This is the kind of day that if you get into a little space where there's no wind, you'll raise the temperature that you're feeling by 10, 15 degrees. We all have these little places around our house outside where you set a chair out, and that chair always gets afternoon sun, so it always has the perfect temperature going in fall and springtime. And then the same situation where you're trying to find shade and a cool little breeze going through on a hot day. It's just these little places where you can make yourself a perfect day. That's what I'm looking for here.
I must admit I felt the flame. Kurt Cobain, offending Mustang. MTV brought me up. This is your brain on drugs. I won't forget that first girlfriend that got me into Boys the Men. I grew up a lot that year. My sweatshirt said no fear. My life was a stereo. Man, it was everything. First one in line for the last dance with Mary Jane. Hiding in my headphones, laying on the bedroom floor. 1994. Tell mom, see you later. Don't be blowing up my pager. When the show's over, I'll come home. When that is, I don't know. Teen spirit in the air. Before we owned our own cell phones. In study hall, passing notes. Yes, no, or I don't care. When my life was a stereo, man, it was everything. Soundtrack, first kiss, out at the roller rink. Hands held, two hearts falling on a hardwood floor. 1994. 1994. Think you know it all when you don't know any better. Tell yourself you're gonna live forever. Fire's burning and I'm still holding the torch. From 1994. Lay with me, yeah. Lay with me, yeah. Lay with me, yeah. My life was a stereo. Man, it was everything. Soundtrack takes me back through all those memories. hiding in my headphones, laying on the bedroom floor. It takes me back to the days when a song was so much more. 1994. 1994.
Well, this really turned into exactly what I was looking for. I'm in this little, I'll probably step back and kind of show you, but if you're out in the wind right now, it's, you know, a 50-degree day, but when you're in the sun, the temperature gauge on my camera shows 75 degrees. So you're, you know, if you get out of the wind, you got a pretty nice day right now. And I am at that point where both the dog and the cat are using the shade of the chair. So, and I got a beautiful view. We're just, you know, the boat's getting the constant wind and the tapping of the water being pushed by the wind across the little creek here. And just kind of giving us a rhythm to the day, that tap, 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 tap. Just adding a little rhythm to the day, basically. And then this is our little inlet. I'm tempted to bring the boat in here, but I think it's too shallow and I'm not gonna do it. So the boat's gonna stay where it's at. I might side tie it just to get a little more out of the wind. And then the last island that you see on the left corner up here, right there, is where we were parked. And then the Tennessee River is just past that. And the forest you're seeing dead center all the way across is on the other side of the Tennessee River. So there's like 3 inlets between here and there. And the beach that I'm at turned out to be wonderful. I thought it was going to be mucky, but once we got here, pretty much all the way up to the anchor right there is shell. It's stones that have so much shell in there that it's pretty solid, right? And then all along here where the grass starts growing, it ends up being a soft, it's moss basically. It's winter moss and it's starting to come back now. Right there, these little, sorry, hold on, Cricket, quit pushing the camera. And eventually this will be this green moss that grows over this, with grass coming up here and there. But it's not mucky or anything like that. You can't leave your footprints don't stay in it. But then when you go towards the flat part right by the river where it rained, and that was covered up yesterday. So that's mucky, basically. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys, I've told you guys this a bunch of times. If you stay on this dry part of the sand right here, you don't get bit from no-see-ums, but if you go near that wet stuff, oh boy, you're gonna get chewed up. This spot turned out perfect. So we got the chair just outside of the windbreak, so I'm not catching any of that cold air coming from the north. Yeah. But the boat's catching it, so even in the sun, the boat's staying nice and cool right now. It's probably 65 in there. What do you want? Where are you leaving?
I have a windstorm cigarette burned into my seat. A full tank of gas is something I never see. The guy in my side view looks nothing like me. Still a few hundred miles will feel good right now. All I'm doing is trying to stay free.
It has been raining all day, and he just went and grabbed his frisbee off of the boat. And it's just muddy. Everything's muddy right now. I don't know what he's thinking. Look at how excited he is. I don't know, brother. You're gonna get filthy, dude. I don't know, man. Like, it's muddy just to play with it. Look at that shit. Look at the mud. I don't know, brother. I'll throw it once. A couple of times. That's it. Yeah, it doesn't even fly right because it's got mud all over it. See, cricket's smart. Alright, dude. Oh, that was a bad throw. Into the mud, too. Oh! Look at that already.
What's crazy is people still don't wanna be me. Yeah, they don't wanna be me. I had my time drinking whiskey and gin.
It's gonna be thunderstorms tonight. The actual weather. Hey! Shh, stop! The weather app said rain with a few rolling thunders. That's what it said. It's kind of cool. So this is really interesting. That is a pair of bald eagles sitting on an osprey nest. And there were a baby osprey in it this spring. And then the osprey rebuilt it after the wind knocked it down. And now there are two bald eagles sitting on the nest. That's interesting. I wonder what exactly that means. A lot of rain last night. We lost a lot of this beach. Not too much. I mean, we could still stay here. It'd be fine. Problem is the wind's coming from right there, which means to get out of the wind, you probably want to go over there. It's coming from the west, so you want to go towards the west to be on the leeward side of the island. We'll talk about that today in this video or in a short or something. But essentially, I'm going to move over there because today it's 54 degrees. It's not going to get above 50. 54 degrees is kind of the max today. And if you're in the wind, it's a cold, bitter day. But if you're out of the wind, it can be a nice day. So we're going to get out of the wind. And this beach has become kind of muddy because it rained all day. Look how much of it is muddy. When you get this grass, when you see this grass here in the videos, typically, so this is still a little bit muddy, but typically this is all mossy and it doesn't become muddy unless there's a lot of rain. And right here it starts to be solid where you can walk on it without bringing it back into the boat. So we're gonna go over to that grassy field that we hang out at a lot, and we're gonna spend a couple days over there playing fetch with the dog. Show this. You see how it's wavy and choppy out here, but you see right along the line of trees over there where the water's completely calm, right along shore. That's not because it's shallow. That's because the trees are buffering it there. So anywhere along there, you won't get any wind today. We're gonna go back in that little cove, right there. Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. We got our own little waterfall. When I first started camping off grid, I would look for a waterfall, and then I realized, like in New Mexico and Arizona, there's waterfalls in the mountains all over the place every time it rains. And I realized if it's a big waterfall, it doesn't river. There's a group of coyotes right over there. And he's kind of upset about it. That we saw coming in here. Anyway, it will eventually get to the point where it's annoying. So this area dries out faster than most, the high parts. So it's been dry for well over 2 months now, which is why all the grasses have grown. And eventually this whole field will look that way this winter. I used to buy algae like this. It's two little leaves and a stem. I used to buy it in little cellophane bags. Put it in my aquarium. What are you doing, little girl? River, come on, bud. I'm gonna go make some coffee. Cricket. They seem very... they like this little area. I spend a lot of time here. It's a very special place to me. He'll just traipse through the water. He won't even jump. Watch. He's so, like, doesn't care about water at all. That's why we named you River. Cricket. Let's go make some coffee. Come on. Good job. That was a good job. You're a good little girl. Alright. Coffee it is.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
I've been working real hard on getting my budget down for going to the store, and one of the things that I've been doing is making one meal that can feed me for 3 or 4 meals. And this is one of my favorites. This is the homemade sausage from the store in town, Cash Savers. And essentially I'm going to pound it up. And then I'm going to use the potatoes that Rusty gave me. And some onions that Rusty gave me. And we're going to make some breakfast burritos. And we can heat it up for the next 3 days to make a late lunch or a breakfast. So let's do that. A couple of people have asked what I do with my grease. Bacon grease I keep and I reuse for cooking. Sausage grease and hamburger grease I put into my old Folgers coffee cans, coffee little plastic bins, and I throw out with my garbage. So typically when you're cutting food, you guys kind of want to make it so it's the same proportion, but when you're doing this type of burrito, I actually want some that are crunchy and a little harder potatoes, and then some that mush up with the sausage. So I make them so they're a little bit different. Then they cook different and they give you different texture while you're eating it. This is salt and pepper mixed with a little bit of red pepper. Red pepper too. Oh, there's a bee in here already. It's a nice day outside right now, I gotta tell you that. It's really sunny. I think it's a little bit over 50 degrees right now, but it's gonna be 67. So I'll be able to make, I'll probably have 3 burritos today with this, and then I will put it in a, put it in the refrigerator. And the best part about this is I can scoop out some in the morning, put it in my electric skillet, and just heat it up real quick, and then make burritos in the morning, like without going through the process of cutting or cooking or even making dirty dishes or anything. Yeah, I need some. Oh, they're fixing it. Maybe cheese, sour cream. A lot of times I put this on my sausage too. Same thing as, adding it to spaghetti. And then I'm probably going to cut up some lettuce. Because I like something cold and crunchy in there with the cheese. I know people are going to yell at me about how I keep my lettuce, but I go through it pretty quick, so I basically just take off the outer leaves and I don't have to store it in the refrigerator. I have a small refrigerator, as you can see, so keeping everything in there is not the best. I had 2 videos and 1 short that mentioned the GoFundMe about getting a boat for River. The reason why we talked about it being for River is because he likes to whip around in the dinghy, and right now we can't go fast in the dinghy. He has to drive slow, so it really is basically, I mean, we get where we're going, so wasn't 100% necessity, but it makes life a lot easier, and I can go a lot further by having something that can go 12 miles an hour versus 3 or 4 miles an hour, which is what's going on with the dinghy right now. I wanted to take some time to thank over the last week or so, 2 weeks, a couple of people have donated. Nicholas C, Running on Empty, Tim M, Dave M, and Brian Davis donated, and we are at a point where, because of Brian Davis's was the last one to donate, and because of his donation, we are at a point where I can actually order a dinghy. Any more money that goes into the GoFundMe will be used towards a trolling motor or something to add on to that dinghy. It's amazing to me that in a couple of weeks you guys can donate enough money to do this, and I'm going to do an entire episode on unboxing and getting the dinghy up and running. But I was able to get one that was a little bit bigger, and it holds 300 extra pounds, so I'll be able to carry water and food and groceries all in one trip. So it'll be a big difference in my life as far as saving fuel and getting everything we need to have on this boat for me and the pets to be comfortable, especially for winter. I'll be able to stock up right before the freeze, where we get stuck in place for a few weeks, depending on the weather, you know. So I wanted to thank those people. Very generous. Now, I'm a single man that lives in the wilderness all by himself, so I'm going to openly admit that I have tacos 3 nights a week. Easily.
Another day turns into another time at another place. Traveling through the world in my tiny floating house. All the colors of the sunrise fill my little place with every shade of red. The song starts to play from every little bird as the bugs chime in with their verse. The driftwood fire makes that whistle from the kettle as coffee warms the air. The river wakes with the energy of the sun. Cricket steps onto the beach, chasing all the rays. I know we are now in another time, another place, on my tiny floating house. I built it myself with the goal of adventure. All I want is to watch the world go by. Watch the world